Hey there!
I'm Sunny.
I'm Skylar.
And together,
we're Crushcast, aka the Vixens of Crush Publications.
Join us today for another fun time with Crush.
Hi there, best-selling authors Skylar Quinn and Sunny A. Morgan coming together today to discuss the joys of erotica in literature. Our topic today is collaboration.
And our sponsor today is elliedesyre. She is an editor, a voice actor, and you can find her on her website at elliedesyre.com, and we will put the link in the podcast, and then on YouTube it will be in the comments.
Sunny, what kind of new releases do you have coming out right now?
Well, last week I had our first Mary Kinkmas story come out. You and I are working on that together. So I have that one coming. It was out last week, and it was Holly for Santa. And then this coming week, I have my husband's best friend Thanksgiving edition.
That sounds great.
How about you?
So last Friday, I had Taking the Babysitter for Christmas, because I love my little age gap holiday ones. And then this Friday, I have my first of the Mary Kinkmas, which is A Bride for Santa. So lots of good stuff in the holiday themes.
Exactly. Exciting.
Yay!
So today we're going to talk about collaborations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we do that a lot.
We do.
A lot. In different forms. We don't always write together, but we
actually don't write together very much.
Not anymore. No, not at all, really. But we collaborate on a lot of things.
We do.
I mean, obviously, we collaborate on a lot of stuff through all of our different business ventures, but we do in writing as well, just in a different format.
Well, and I think there's a lot more collaboration in this business than everybody quite realizes, too, because lots of people collaborate. And like you said, different forms of it. Do we want to maybe go over the different forms and how we do it?
Yeah. Oh, we can do that. Do you want to start?
You want me to? I'll start. That's fine.
Okay.
So there's the old-fashioned way of co-writing, which is what Sean and I do. But I don't think we do it necessarily in the typical way, because it's not like we share a Google document. We do one chapter at a time, one point of view alternating, and then there's the share the Google document type where you just literally, co-write.
I don't think I could do that.
I definitely couldn't do that.
I don't think I could do that. But, I mean, people do. It's amazing that they can. I don't think I could.
I mean, Sean and I write too differently to go paragraph after paragraph.
Yeah.
I couldn't mesh that type, sentence structures, the word usages. I couldn't
way
do that.
Too much planning in that. Way too much.
Way too much. And this is already pushing my planning limit with what Sean and I do, And then there's what we did with the anthology collaboration. And then we did the anthology collaboration with Lacey Cross for the hurricane victims, where we just all put stories together. And then there's what we're doing with Mary Kinkmas. Do you want to talk about what we're doing? That kind?
Right. Well, you kind of already done this with other authors. So we just took it on a smaller scale for us. But we have 6 books coming out during the holidays, and they're all in the same theme. They're in a For Santa theme. So that is why it is our Mary Kinkmas.
Yes.
I write a book, you write a book, and we just alternate, so we do 3 each. But it's all in the same series. So,
and there's a Santa-esque thing, whether it is
that's
Santa
the connection.
or the name or however.
Right. That is the connection, is that everything was for Santa in some sort of way. A sexy Santa, obviously. So everything is in that kind of format. And I love this series. I love that we did it. I think it's very fun and bright and festive. Just everything about it. The stories.
Well, the cover is amazing. I think it's
Yeah,
one of
I
the
love the
best.
covers. I love those covers. I mean, it's just the colors, I think, is what made it so good. And I had
Yes.
nothing to do with that. It's just the luck of the draw. But
You picked it, you found it, you did the hunting.
Yes, I
Your
did all of
eye,
that.
like your eye captured
Yeah.
it, and then
And we were just lucky that there was a whole series of these photos.
the pictures.
Yeah, so that we could have a slightly different cover for each one, but still match. So I loved it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it's a good test run to see how this works because we have a bigger idea for collaboration next year. And then you and I are collaborating even further, more deeper into a joint world next year.
Yes. Oh, I'm really excited about that world. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Should we talk about it?
We can talk about it a little bit because I'm really excited about
it
too.
I already have a plan when I'm going to start writing my first one. So
I do too. So yeah, I'm like really excited about it. We are doing a paranormal world. It is a town, Erotica. It is a town that is filled with all of these supernatural beings that own different businesses and shops, and it's like a little touristy area. But humans who come there do not know that they are real vampires and witches and werewolves and shifters. They don't know that. It's what this town is, and they kind of live in the forefront without living in the forefront because of the
like a tourist attraction.
Yeah, it is. And so like they made this so that they can be safe and be who they are, and it has a lovely erotic sexy twist to every story.
Should I show everyone our map?
Oh God, yes.
Let me get the map.
Yes, we created a map for the town square, at least, not the entire town, but the town square where most of the businesses are. We have hospitals and neighborhoods, and
so we have like 3 layers of this map. So here's like the whole outline. This is like the outer part of the town, and then you go in. This is like the town square. So all the businesses
Hemlock
in the town
Valley
square. And then this is like the town square plus the surrounding of the square.
Yeah. Yes. It's a whole little world because we have banks and realtors and
we have a postmaster who is related.
Yes, we do. I forgot that we have a postmaster. Like we came up with all kinds of like little details in history for each of these characters in some way, shape, or form, and I think it's hilarious and I love it. I'm so excited about it.
We have a little bookstore that's owned by best friends, and we have like a cafe, and then we have these places like the attic. That sounds pretty kinky, but we haven't decided like what the attic is going to be yet. And
like this and that shop.
An hour west of Salem or east? I think west of Salem.
West. I think it's west. Yes.
And so they're kind of like competing with that touristy pull from the Salem and all of that. It's going to be so exciting. And so what we're going to do is two Tuesdays a month, right? The second and the fourth Tuesday of the month. Yeah. Sunny will release the first, and then I'll release the second. The first Tuesday, the second Tuesday she will release, and then the fourth Tuesday I will release. And so
you'll get standalones. Yes. So like you don't have to read them in order. It would be better if you did, but it's just the same world. So they're each standalones.
So you'll have 24 individual stories to cherish next year, which is going to be great. And we have just all sorts of wonderful plans. Should we talk about how we came up with all of this?
Sure. It's kind of funny.
It is hilarious.
We took a bad situation and made it good.
So this was, 2015 maybe?
No,
2016.
It was 2017 because I remember because I just had gotten Tucker. Yeah.
Yes. And so we were sitting around her kitchen table, and I was on my little iPad, and we were over here like mapping it all out, talking about it. What was it called? I already forgot.
Forest Lake.
Yes. No, but our series was Emerald.
But that's not where we did it. Yes, we did it in New Orleans.
Did we do? I remember we were sitting at your table.
I think like we started some of it, but no, we were sitting at.
I made that map at your table.
Yeah, we did that, like, because we came back and did this.
Oh, so we started in New Orleans.
We started in New Orleans.
I had it backwards.
It was a bust.
Oh,
like
that you're right.
Happened. We had no readers, and I went over to your table.
The worst
you had your iPad, and we were just like, all right, let's use something. Well, we're here. Let's do something. So we started talking about like this little world that we wanted to create. We didn't have the idea for it to be an erotic world, though. It was just going to be like this cozy mystery fun.
It was going to be cozy mystery
that we were going to do, and so yeah, it was hilarious. And then recently we were just started talking about it. Yeah.
Well, last week you started talking about that you wanted to make this kind of world, and then I got excited about the idea of you doing it, and then we revisited our wonderful little...
Because we were like, we did all this work, why not just use this world that we had already created and we hadn't done anything with? We just created it because, I don't know, we were born in New Orleans when we were supposed to be selling, but nobody was there.
No, it's going to be so good. That was the worst book event.
It was. I mean,
and I feel like New Orleans is tainted in some ways. Like, I'm always nervous now about it, even though that's been the only bad one. But I'm now always nervous.
Well, I think it was a really bad time because they did it Mardi Gras week. It was like right during Mardi Gras. So the hotels were not letting people in if they weren't staying there. So there were no readers could come to the book event because they couldn't get in the hotel. So it was just like, we're just there with all of these other authors sitting at our tables, like, okay,
angry, upset, like,
to one of the author's husbands going around passing around tequila, like shots of tequila to everybody because it's just like, what are we doing?
We just turned it into a family vacation with the four.
Yeah. I mean, it became nothing. It's just so funny. But
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to do this. And like, that's the best part. So we already have like all these different characters for all these different places. So we can interact with them and readers will get to see different aspects because we already have like what they look like, how old they are, like what characteristics. So it's not like this postmaster is going to have one name in Sunny's books and then another name in my book. It'll be all these same characters. And so I think that will add like a level dynamic to the series. It'll make it like stand out a little different and like little Easter eggs for all those readers who want to read through it. And I'm really excited. I think it's going to be phenomenal
too. I think it'll be fun. I can't wait to start the first one. I just have a few more projects I have to finish up, and then I have it planned out when I'm going to start. So
I think I started in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So
mine's about that too. Is around that time frame when I start.
It's going to be great.
Excited. Yeah,
and I think like the beauty is, you know, when you look at like the intellectual property of this, right? Because Sunny and I share the business, we share Crush, and we share all these different things. We're able to do those type of fun,
collaboration,
dynamic projects without there being a lot of like that drama that may come through it with like other people that you're not best friends with or family with, right? And so I think that gives us like a little leg up in being able to do more of these type things.
Yeah, I mean, and people can do them. It's just you have to be very like
trusting,
and you also have to. I mean, you have to protect yourself legally because you can be the best friend online, but that does not mean that when it comes down to something, you're not going to be like, "That was my idea. What are you doing?" And so it's a little different with us because we have more outside of this. I totally like. When I work with other people, I mean, there's always an agreement. There's an agreement that we have. There's a piece of paper.
And I'm so grateful for like Drafts Digital, where we can do that, and you can do the 50% share, and you have to go through all this, and then it won't let you make changes without that other person.
Right.
And so I am so grateful. I wish Amazon would do that.
I wish they would do that too, because that would make it so much easier.
So much easier.
Like collaborations and stuff. But
for for-profit collaborations would just be so smooth that way.
Yeah.
But And then I'm also doing another collaboration with Logan Black next year, which I'm excited about. We're doing a couple's BDSM journey. And so we're going to do one short story a month on a Tuesday. So I don't know if it'll be like the first or second Tuesday, but it'll be one of those. I don't remember. I already have it written out. But we'll do that, and we'll do 11 of those. And then in December, we'll book it all up as a print book, because we're going to do about a 5,000 word story, maybe. Four to six, so average about 5. So we're excited about that. I'm excited to branch out a bit, because that's going to be a different element of what I haven't really written a lot of. And so that'll be a little challenging, not so much in like, I'll probably have to do some research, but it'll challenge me in like a new following, finding new readers and opening it up more. Cause I think probably more women will read that, as opposed to my hot wife and cheap husbands. I think I have more men readers. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I'm writing with Logan too.
Oh.
So
plug for Logan.
Yeah. I mean, well, he's busy apparently this year. But no, we're not going to do a continuing series like you guys are. But he is like the master of like the noir, mystery, erotic kind of stuff. And I love that genre, and I want to write in that. So I had this idea.
Coaching.
Yeah, I had this idea about writing it and going to another author for help. And so I'm kind of really doing that in a sense. We're kind of sort of doing that because that is how the story is going to be. We're going to write like this mystery, but there will also be the two authors who are going to be discussing it, and so some fun things will happen in between there.
I love stories like that, like the story within the story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, I tried to write The Curse of the Monkey's Fist, which was a story within a story. It was a first-person author writing a third-person mystery traveling through the rainforest. And like,
I don't remember that.
This was like, I think I wrote that in 2014 because I was working at United Rentals, and a salesman gave me the idea for it. And
I kind of think I do remember.
I think I have like 30,000 words. I should probably go back and like,
yeah, you should think about
and finish it, because it's almost done.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
I love those stories within a story, though. Like, it's just kind of like the Princess Bride story within a story, but with erotica. I love those kind of things. I think they're so much fun. I can't wait to read your guys's.
And I love being like with this whole like niche too. I'm doing like research about it because I know some things, but I don't know a lot. That's where Logan comes in, because that is his chosen genre for the most part. And he does it fantastic. I mean, he does it amazing. So I'm really like happy that he is agreed and wants to do this with me. So
I think all the different projects we have, and not just like you and me, but like we as like authors, it really is a bonus to those readers, because they get the best of both worlds. They get the authors they love, and then like this new person that comes in that they're exposed to. And it's a great way to like meet new people and meet new worlds.
To find new reader or authors, and it's great for readers. It's great for authors. So,
I think the important part when you go to like the collaboration, especially with people that you don't completely know, is making sure like quality for quality matches. Yeah. And that's where like that trust comes in, that person's going to pull their weight, because you never want to get stuck in a project where you're doing 80% of the work and only making like half the profit from it.
Right.
Or they're taking all the credit and you're doing all of this back work. So you want to make sure when you collaborate that you don't have to necessarily be on the exact same like level. You always want to be with people who make you better, right?
Right. Exactly.
But you got to, that work ethic.
But you have to be able to bring something to the table.
Exactly.
And I think like being on the same level but in different places. Like I know that may not come across exactly right, but
I totally understood what you meant.
Yeah, where like you maybe like excellent at the hot wife, and this person is excellent at the BDSM. But so like you're both kind of like learning together or whatever it is, or you're great
Well, like
at
a yin and a
writing
yang,
fights. Yeah,
Yeah.
or you're great at writing fights and I'm great at writing spells. And so like,
Both true statements.
I know. So that's why I used it, because we both have used each other for those things, because those are things that we're good at and things that we struggle a little bit with. And it helps because it does like help you later, because later I do fight scenes and I don't need as much help as I did in the beginning because I learned from you.
Yeah.
And I think, and you've written the spells without me. I mean, so
But they're not as good as when I do use you. You're
well,
right.
my fight scenes aren't as good either, but
but you're right. We can now do them. And so I think that is the other part. There was like a teaching element, not an inherent teaching, but we utilized each other to where we were able to learn. And instead of just like a doing for. And maybe that's kind of like where editing too comes in, like with the notes and with the proofreading and all that too, because that's also a collaborative effort when you think about it, as opposed to just doing for.
Right. I mean, because most editors are not going to correct it. They're going to tell you where the issue is. And, which is what you want, because it makes it so like you make less of those mistakes later.
Next time, yeah.
Yeah. And it's even the same with like friends who read your stuff. It's nice for them to love it, but it's also, might be hard, but it's nice for them to say, look, this is not where it needs to be.
I would much rather have a friend that says that.
Yeah, or it doesn't make sense to me, or it doesn't like whatever it is, and because it'll help you. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, it's probably not going to make sense to somebody else
who doesn't know you or how your brain works.
Right? Yeah. Or just having those different eyes. So collaborating comes in so many different things, with editing, with writing, with like it's all.
Well, and it's also kind of like being an author is an individual journey, but it's also not.
It does.
Because you can do it all.
Lonely.
It is. But you can do it all by yourself and still miss out. Whereas if you do it with other people, and it can even be like our monthly writing get together. That's collaboration, even though we're all writing our individual thing. We do the writing sprints and we collectively boost each other up.
Yeah, we're motivating.
And so there is just so many, it's like an onion, just so many layers.
There is, yeah. And it's the best that fits for you. We like a lot of different types of collaborating. But it's whatever fits. You collaborate more than I do, because I don't overly like on a regular basis. I like doing special things, and I don't like doing continuously things with because I feel like our stories are different because we're not writing the same story together.
Correct.
So like I can do those. But like when we're writing the same stories together, I prefer it to be a one and done. Or maybe
well,
two,
and then like
but
I think like where what Sean and I are doing, I think where it helps is Sean and I are not writing the same story every time. Like we're not always writing the same type. Like we differentiate each one. And so we finish a project, we take a break, and then we come back to a new project that we've already discussed, right? So like the one we're doing now is a continuation of our fourth book, but it's an added element to it, makes it a little different. And the main characters aren't having the same type of interaction. But our next book, we're going to go back to an age gap cheating turn hot wife. Because we've already talked about like what book 6 is going to be, right? So it makes it a little easier because it's not like the same mundane thing over and over and over and over. And it's not like we're doing it every week.
Yeah.
Because we're not publishing it on Medium or anything. So we're just writing to write. And so I went 2.5 weeks without writing my chapter, and he got on to me, right? But now I've sent him a chapter and it's been a week and he hasn't sent anything back, right? So we can fit it in, and it's not like that obligation, must do. So I like that aspect of it because that's very
good.
flexible.
Yeah, I mean, because that's like that's my biggest concern, is being like, is owing somebody something. Like, like when I have to have something done for them, and I don't want anybody, I don't want to hold back anybody. And so I feel like when we're doing stories like that together, it is like I just want to have that one because I know I've fit it into my schedule. If it continues on, it makes me nervous. But
And that's why, like with Logan, I said let's keep it to 4,000 to 6,000 because to me that's 3 hours I can commit a month, no problem. Yeah. To get 2,000 words to him for his 2,000, like I can give you 3 hours, no problem. It's not like 3 hours a week. That'd probably be a different thing. I probably couldn't do that, you know?
Yeah.
And so you definitely have to like weigh what that is. And then there's the type of collaboration that I did with the Monstrous Mistake, in which I'm kind of doing with the AIK Hot Wife Cuckold group with their Hot Wife Cruise and stuff, where they're all individual stories. We're just doing the same series, just like our Merry Kinkmas, you know, and I mean, I think that's also great too, though, because I think readers like that theme, being able to carry a theme, because it's kind of like keeping a series going and alive.
It is. I think that they like that too. And like you had said earlier, there are like these little Easter eggs that you see in the different stories or the connection or the different things. You're like, oh, I remember this person or oh, this. So
yeah,
I think that people like that world too. Because I love a series, but I love a series where each story ends. I love it. Like that's what I like reading. That's what I like to write. I don't like when there's multiple books and it's on a like a cliffhanger. I hate that. I hate it so much.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first series, and I do believe that was not a mistake, but it is something I will not do again.
It was mine too, and it definitely is not something that I will do again at all.
It's much harder to sell it, to market it, to all of it as the business part of writing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Once they all come out at the
those
same
are
time.
Like things that you learn from the beginning.
Right.
You learn from your mistakes, or which they weren't. I mean, they weren't really mistakes. It's just
I just didn't have a better word.
No, I know. I got what you're saying, and I don't really have a better word either. But it's just they were learning experiences.
They were learning experiences, and you know the other part with the collaboration is sometimes they think. Like outside looking in the different genres, readers see like the drama and the competition or the angst amongst different writers. I think collaborating shows readers that that's not really like what we're like. And there is truly a lot of friendships and cross promoting and, you know, getting along that goes on. And it's really outliers that are the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Because I mean, I think books are one industry that you can't really have too much competition. Because if you read, you read, and if one person puts something out, you're not going to not read it. You just might read it next week.
Right, exactly. Because like, I mean, if it's in your genre, you're going to read it regardless. If it's a good story, so it doesn't matter who wrote it. So
I think we're really rare in that because you can't necessarily say that for like types of pizza. I mean, a good pizza, you stick with that. It's not like you're trying different pizzas every week. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to this place this week. You know?
Right.
Well, I did Pizza Hut this week. It's Domino's now. Like, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna stick to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Whereas books, I mean,
it's even the same with like television shows and things like that. They're on at the same time. You got to choose. Well, I guess now you don't really have to because there's like DVRs and stuff. But but before you had to choose, and I mean, it's still some people do. Those who
but you know, like it's sports season, right? So if you have multiple games or whatever on, then you do have to choose because watching a sporting event on DVR is not
the same.
It's not the same.
No.
Or like when a show has come out and there's like lots of hype for it, you have to avoid social media or you'll get those spoilers. We don't have that with books. I mean,
well, there are spoilers, but not as much. I mean, people don't really do it as much, especially with like our genre, like erotica. You don't get a lot of spoilers out there. No, but
I do remember though when J.R. Ward had that Crave book out, and Crave cupcakes in Houston had just launched. And everybody was talking about how great Crave was. I was like, oh my God, my Facebook is full of all these people loving paranormal romance. And it took me a minute. It was the cupcakes. It was the cupcakes. I was like, my God, everybody loves J.R. Ward, but no.
No, it's the cupcakes.
It was the cupcakes.
That's hilarious. Too funny.
I'll never forget that. I think about that all the time when I'm driving on 610 going
see it.
And then occasionally, like once a year, it'll come up in my feed because I even made like a face. I'm like, everybody's loving Crave. This is fantastic.
That's so hilarious. Did you love the book? Because I can't even remember now.
I did like the book, but it was the first in her other series, within the Michael series, and I liked that one. But it just makes me laugh every time I think about it.
That's so funny.
So. Yeah. That's so goofy. What do you think about her show filming? I don't even know what channel it's on. I don't know how to find it.
This is what I fear. You know those stupid things that we talk about every day that are on TikTok, the storylines and the movies and things. I fear it's going to be like that.
I know. I am
like,
so worried about that.
Horrible acting.
Because I don't know any of these actors. I don't even know the production company was going to be on. I don't know how to find it.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to be on some weird internet thing that you're going to find. I don't know. It's just...
And they don't look anything like I pictured them. You know how much I love Vicious? I do not like the pictures I saw.
mean, but if you really think about it, he kind of does look like him. Because if
have you seen The Fury?
No. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, that nothing.
And The Wrath?
I don't remember Wrath. No. I'll have to look. Let's see. Now I gotta look.
Now you gotta look.
You know, that was my favorite.
I know. I know.
Okay. I gotta look.
It's in there's several BD Facebook groups posting about it. And I remember like a decade ago, we would kill to have this on TV, right? And I just worry that it's going to be like True Blood and they're going to just screw it all up. Even though she is part of it, she's actively part of it.
She is. I mean, hopefully
that means they at least like stay to the book and stay to the things that people love.
Yeah. Because I'm looking on the IMD and I'm not like, I see like it, but it doesn't show me here's the stars. Let's see. Because I'm sorry. Who is this? This is not Wrath.
I know.
What are we doing? And this is not Beth. And,
I know.
Okay, so the guy could be Butch. I could go with him for Butch, and I could see that. This is not Rage.
Nope.
And this dude, I mean, I know they cut his hair, but the guy that they have him has all this long hair in this picture for Vicious. And I know
that must be the one
wig. Maybe he has a wig on in the movie or in the show because
I don't know.
I mean, he's got a lot of hair. I don't know if I'd want to cut that.
I haven't seen who they cast. And it's just funny
because when I first saw it, I thought that it was Fury because Fury has all the hair.
I know.
And then I saw it was Vicious. I'm like, what? No, but yeah. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. Maybe they're just amazing actors. Then we won't care.
God, I hope so. I hope it's not going to be like those stupid shorts that we get sucked into that I was watching before we started recording.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that. I mean, and they're not attractive because they are for the most part.
Right.
So I mean, it's not that. It's just they don't like what you have in your head because of the descriptions who they are.
I mean, I just like big guy and.
Yeah, none of them are big.
They don't look like vampires.
Her men are big. Yeah, well,
her men are big.
Yeah, her men because her men were like warriors. Her vampires are more like warriors, and so other vampires you see are normally kind of skinny and pale and sleek, but hers were like warrior. They're big men.
Yep.
And so like these ones don't fit that really. And so, because like I feel like when John switched, like they talked about like
They
his
talked about him changing.
transformation.
He's physically
Yes.
changed.
Yeah. So
Yes.
like
Because
that
it hurt. Didn't it hurt? Like,
I can't remember that,
I
but
can't remember.
I remember them discussing like his change in the book. And so like that kind of like this feels weird. And yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see
I
how
wish
it goes.
Sherilyn Kenyon had a TV series.
I know
I
that
would love-
forever there was this rumor
I
she was
know.
going to.
I would love to see that on screen.
Yeah, I would too. That I would love to see.
And I mean, like, I look at the shows like Origins and all that crap Sammy and I watch. I mean, from the Vampire Diaries. I mean, all those. I didn't read the book, so I don't know if the casting met like the truth of the characters. But the acting was great. The plots were great. The scripts were great. Like they suck you in and they kept you engaged. But I didn't read the book, so I have no idea how accurate. But then Discovery of Witches. Did you ever read that?
I've read half of it. I've never read the whole thing, and I've watched the first season, but that's it.
So I love all 3 seasons, but the vampire does not match how I pictured him. I feel like the witch did. I can't think of their names, but he did not. And maybe it's because I don't find him very attractive because I don't like the tiny, skinny guys, so maybe that's my hang up. But the acting and everything, like, it was okay. Like, I got past it. So I just hope.
I thought it was good, but like there was too long of a break between the series because I watched it when it first came out that I was like, I never went back and saw it, watched the others.
Tony's best friend Alex, he and I loved Discovered Witches when it came out. He's like, did you see this? It's like, no. And he's like, you gotta watch it. And so I binged it, and we probably talked about it for hours via text. And
yeah, when I was
what the hell's wrong with you?
My boss's husband, he was like, have you seen this? I was like, no. And he's like, you need to watch it. I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was really good.
And so hopefully this BDV does the same. And I want to see. I haven't seen who they have cast for the Lessers, because you know how much I love the Lessers. I know.
Yeah, they haven't really talked about the Lessers.
I haven't seen any of the Chosen.
No.
So, and I think that's the other problem when you have a
Marissa's a Chosen. She was on here. Like
I haven't seen her picture. But I think when you have like a really popular series like that, you have all of these expectations to live up to it.
She could be it. She could be she looks like the Chosen. Zeta.
All right, well, that's good.
Unlike Zodas.
I know.
Hold on. Why are there? Yeah, she definitely looks like she could be. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. We could have a whole show about these series.
The series that we love. That I haven't read forever, that I feel like I want to read again sometimes.
And I feel like maybe we should. Maybe that would be good inspiration for our world next year.
Maybe, but this world's a little dark. Our world is not.
Oh, I know, but I mean, it can just inspire you to write paranormal.
That's true. It could, yeah.
Because they're great. And yeah, exactly.
I mean, and I know like Dark Lover wasn't one of your favorites, but it was my favorite. It was one of my favorite. It was my favorite actually. And then Vicious, and then Sadist. Yeah. And then Rage. I like Rage.
I mean, once we got to John Matthew, I was kind of like tapped out though.
I was done then. Yeah.
I mean,
his I just felt was okay.
And King, I never finished.
I didn't either, and it was my man.
I think I
didn't like it.
I think I stopped chapter 4 in and returned it. Like I couldn't.
I couldn't finish it either. I didn't like it, and I hated it because I love him.
And I think that was also where we had both talked about how like we have to learn to stop a series at a point. We can't continue it forever,
right? Because sometimes you just keep writing and it doesn't make sense, and it's not fresh or it's not new. Because like Christine Vihan, who I love, Like her Dark series, there are, my God, there's over 30 books, and it's a great series, but there was a time when all of them just felt the same. And it was like,
I mean, Sherilyn Kenyon did it too.
Yeah, like they're just all kind of the same. But then it went back like to like her later ones, they started to have that first like round feel. So I don't know what happened in between there, but it started to feel like that again. But it was just like they weren't all. There was this period of them where I was like, I don't want to read that.
Well, and like I remember feeling that way because I read True Blood before I watched it, and so I think it was like book 9. I was like, this really like should end, and then it kept going. But I heard it kept going because the show wanted to keep going, and it really felt like it should have ended at book 10. Like just the way the whole series was written, it really felt 10 would have been a good closure. And so I think as authors, it's really important to remember, like, just because your fans like want something, that doesn't necessarily mean it's like the best thing for your world.
Right. And and if you have all these characters that people are wanting, but you keep adding in
that nobody
cares about, all you're doing is frustrating people, and you're continuing a series to make it longer where there's nowhere to go. Like these, and
Apollonie needs a book.
Yeah, she does need a book. Apollonie, Savitar needs a book. I mean, I don't know if
it'd be the same book.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, she says he's gonna have a book here in the next like couple years. We'll see. But I just hope he doesn't have like find a
Beth
pathetic like.
Wasn't her name Bethany?
Human.
Isn't that who married Asheron? Bethany.
No. It was Bethany. Bethany was Styx.
Tori.
Oh my God. Huh?
Tori, yes, was it Tori?
Yeah. So hopefully it's not like her. Which I mean she's fine, but it's just I don't know. Savitar can't have like a normal human.
A plain Jane.
No. I mean, he has to have somebody that he's going to fight with, that he's going to argue with, that he's going to like, that they're going to like, Apollonie, that they are going to use their power on each other to like,
exactly.
Not somebody who is not going to do that, or who's going to bow down to Mr. I'm just going to wipe out the whole race when I'm pissed off at you kind of thing. You need somebody who's going to, like, he needs somebody else. So I hope that it's Apollonie. I don't really see how that's going to work. I mean, I guess he could live in hell.
Just start a petition. Yeah,
I know. She could live in hell. He could live in hell with her.
A change.org.
Yeah.
Huh? A change.org petition.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
Dark Hunters Unite.
Right.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
But I do love that she's writing some of the characters again that I had wanted to, like Jaden. Said he's going to get a book. So I mean, I think that those are exciting, but she's still putting out books that are not these people.
Tisk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe there are people besides us who want these other books. I don't know. Maybe we're just.
I would like to think so, because they're great. They're great characters.
They are, but I'm just saying, like, maybe there are people who want like the new characters to keep going, and we're just the ones who want like, can you just wrap up?
We have to be different.
Do you want you just wrap up the old characters before you start a new generation? Can we just start Dark Hunters Generation 2 later?
There could be a whole series of Dark Hunter kids.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can they just not like later on?
I mean, it's kind of like what she did with like the whole Nick series that I just could not get into.
I can't either, because there's too many alternate like
realities
stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I know Apollonie's in that series a lot, and I love Apollonie, but I can't read it because it's just not. It doesn't make sense. So
yeah, we really tangented a lot.
We did. We went way off of like collaboration.
But it's the
That's so
love of
funny.
stories and love of
It
books.
is because you get so attached and you love the worlds, and I mean that's why we love creating worlds too.
The goal is
And I
one day
feel
to
like
have
we
people
haven't,
talk about us like this.
yeah. And be
Why
annoyed
can't
with
they
us.
just make
Yes,
more of the series?
exactly. Right, exactly. When
Maybe
is this
that will
person
be
getting their
our.
book?
Maybe that's what our series will do.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe someone's going to want a
Maybe.
Postmaster book. You
Well,
never
because
know.
they're paranormal, so he's not going to be this old, like grumpy looking
Exactly.
postmaster. He's gonna be really hot, like postmaster.
Exactly. We can't have any old looking decrepit
No,
people.
I mean, no.
All sexy good
they're-
people.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they are, then I mean they're definitely like
Human.
old shifters. Well, like old grandma shifter, like great grandma shifters that, because they age at a slower rate. So
Sure, yeah. Oh, that could be fun. We could have like an old little like nursing home.
where the shifters go. Where the shifters and witches go, because like the vampires aren't going to age. So
no vampires are allowed here.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
Uh,
See, I mean, that could be a 2026 goal.
yeah, that's so funny. The nursing home. I see like on Amazon, and I'm always like freaked out by it, but it's like step grandpa stuff, and I'm like a granddaddy. I'm like, what?
What?
Like, we're really going to granddaddy?
Okay, you say that, and all I think of is like wrinkly old balls. And I just like, I couldn't.
I can't either. Like, I couldn't imagine. And
I read something about Anna Nicole Smith the other day, and that was all I was thinking about as I was reading that story.
Yeah.
How she married that guy.
It's everyone with those big age differences that, like, I mean, it's insane. But I mean, it is
to
what
each
it
their
is.
own.
Yeah.
To each their own. I bet they have great personalities.
Yeah, I mean, they can buy a great personality. I mean, I'm sorry. Like with Anna Nicole and him. I mean, I'm sorry.
He lived like 18 months.
I mean, yeah. She didn't have a grandpa growing up. So
I mean, all comes back to the daddy issues.
yeah, more grandpa issues apparently. But when I saw that, I was just like,
they could be young grandparents.
They are, because
young grandma.
Your grandma. So I mean, they can be young. It's just, when you see the name come across for granddaddy, it's just like, okay.
And Amazon allows that, which would be ridiculous for you to have seen it on Amazon, but they bust us for other things.
Amazon is bipolar with when they decide when they're going to do what, because one minute, like, even when like they send me something that says, there's an issue with this, and then I send it back and ask them like and correct it, and somebody else like views it like, oh no, there's no issue. Like, can we all just get on the same page? Because I don't want like a month later, because like lately my issues that they've been are like stories that I put out like a month or two ago, and they're coming back with like the cover or the title or whatever, and then I send it back and asking the questions, and then there's no problem. And I'm just like, okay. So
yeah,
I don't know. They're hard to determine. Like,
they are.
That's why I just pulled all of my like
better safe than sorry
stories, because I just didn't want to have to go through that.
Well, you don't want to risk your account.
No, so I just pulled them all, and I mean, it was hard to pull all of those stories because I'm sure like, oh my god, this is so many.
You had so many.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a year's worth of stories. It was like over 50 stories, and I was just like, oh my god. going to pull all these. But I mean, I had to because it's not worth risking my account. And
No, it's
I
not.
mean, yeah, do I see like daddy this and daddy that in mainstream romance and in erotica? Yes. And does it annoy me? Yes. But I'm not going to be the person like, because it just, I don't want to be the one that they decide I'm going to pull yours today.
Nope, you don't want to, because we've done
And
so much work. You don't want to go
yeah,
backwards.
right. So yeah, I mean, it is frustrating because there's a lot of like daddy where it's just like they're calling the guy daddy, not that he's a stepdad, he's not anything. And that's an issue because like I had stories like that. And
And that's a legitimate nickname that can be said during the whole thing, especially in erotica.
it can be. And it can in like, I mean, just well, and
Or
with the
any
kink
sex scene in general.
yeah, like the daddy dom little girl. I mean, I don't write that, but that's a big kink out there.
It is.
And I mean, those stories are everywhere. And so, like, it's hard to, so you just have to play on the caution. I mean, you just have to be
And this is
cautious.
another
But
example of collaborating because we all kind of like talk about these issues that we have
yeah,
and we learn from other people
right,
and we don't want to repeat their mistakes. So, I mean,
right. Or, I mean, or maybe not even mistakes because it's not always that you even know.
true,
I mean, you don't
true.
even know because Amazon does not give you clear definitions
Well, and
on,
I didn't know that for draft to digital, that if you had like two brothers in a room, but only one of them was having sex and the other one was watching, it's considered incest.
yeah.
And the lady was like really nice. So she's like, "Well, now you know, it's no big deal. I won't flag your account." I was like, "Okay, I'll just go change it."
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, you never know. And, but the good thing about Draft to Digital is because while Amazon does not tell you, they tell you to read the guidelines that are very rare, or like, not rare, that's the wrong word, are very
Broad,
like
generic, vague.
generic, vague. Um, so like that, but on Draft to Digital, if you are publishing to Amazon, they will tell you Amazon does not accept this, Amazon does not accept
Yep.
that. And so like that's how I learn now what Amazon accepts and doesn't accept because Amazon's not telling me, but they're telling Draft to Digital. So, and that's how I learn what other different online retailers don't accept because Draft to Digital, they're like, they don't accept this, and they don't accept that. Okay.
And it's also how we learned that Medium gives away our stuff for free in all search engines,
Yes.
even when we unpublish it.
Yeah, that we have to delete it,
You have
which
to delete
kind
it.
of sucks because
It does suck.
sometimes like you want to just unpublish it for a while for whatever reason
And then
and
put
then
it
just
back later.
right, or you want to have that timestamp
Yep.
because it is so
Copyright
easy.
and
Yeah, with for like our copyright infringement for things to happen, and you want that timestamp because like it's too expensive to send every one of these stories to the
it'd be
Library of
$35
Congress.
a pop.
Right. I mean, that's just insane. We can't do that. So we have to do like the poor man's copyright in a sense. And so like Medium doing that, it just sucks. So now it's kind of like you have to do these screenshots of things or you have to like figure out a way to protect yourself because there are those people out there who do steal.
Yep.
I don't worry about pirating my stuff, like people doing that. I really don't because it's like, you know what? The person who's reading it there isn't going to read it anyway. So I'm not overly concerned. They're not going to buy it somewhere else anyway. So I'm not overly concerned about losing sales off of it. I mean, it's annoying, but I'm not frustrated. I'm more concerned about somebody taking my stuff and saying it was theirs.
Right. You remember when Blood Purple was pirated and I
Yeah.
celebrated? I felt like such a successful author. It's like,
Yeah.
finally, somebody
Yeah.
put my stuff on a free site.
Yeah.
I just thought that was great. Like, please,
Yeah.
if you love my stuff that much, like, that's just compliment to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally cool with, like, don't go do it. But, yeah,
Right. I mean,
it was an author moment.
it is because I mean, we all have been there in some shape or form where your stuff is put on one of these sites. And yeah, it sucks. But honestly, I would rather it be on that site than somebody saying it's their work.
Right, exactly.
Um, I mean, they're both horrible, but I don't know. I just can't. You got to pick and choose where you're going to do your fight.
You do.
And
so, but I do like that about Substack, that, I mean, especially with the paywall, that is not searchable and you can unpublish and you still have it. And I do like that.
Yeah, they can protect you a little more. So, I mean, that's the smartest thing, is to put it there first if it's not something that's going straight to an ebook.
And I mean, I guess you could always email it to ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of effort.
I mean, I always have the saved document, or like, with the date on it, but it's like, if you make any change, that date changes. So
right.
It's just, I don't know. It just sucks that you have to worry about those things, because Medium does not do a good job of.
No, they don't. They don't protect their authors.
They do not at all when it comes to like putting anything on that site.
But we would never have known that if it wasn't for Drafted Digital.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot.
So kudos to them for their customer service.
Yeah, you do learn a lot from them. I mean, really, because they tell us. So
there we have
it. They tell you why somebody's denying you.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, we can't correct it if you don't tell us why.
Exactly.
And so, like, they tell you why. I mean, I love Amazon because obviously that's where I'm making the most of my money from, and that's where you get the majority of your reads from. So yeah, you love them, but you also
you want to comply. You want to do what they want, right?
Right.
But you don't give us the tools.
Right. I mean, I'm not purposely trying to sneak something in. I just want to know what I've done that was wrong so I can not do it again. Because if you just tell me to read the guidelines that are very vague, well, I can interpret those any way that
clearly
I want.
We have read them, and this is how we interpreted them, and we were wrong.
Right. And then when you see all of these things that are on there, the site, that are similar to what you read, you're assuming, well, okay, then it can't be this. So what is it? And it ends up being that, though. So it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just great to run your stuff through Drafted Digital first. At least they'll tell you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really write anything that's that type of taboo now. I mean, I do write taboo, obviously. Like, it's erotica, and there's kinks, and there's.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any more stepdad though, because I mean, I have a couple.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah,
it's not worth it.
Any kind of step in situations, because it's just, and I'm nervous about like a dad's best friend. I mean, he's no relation at all, but it makes me a little nervous about that. But we'll see.
Hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just have to make sure the title is something different.
Yeah.
And maybe like have on the description. I've seen lately, like, people are like, look inside to see like the details of the book so that you know what it is, because Amazon does not allow it on like whatever reason. So maybe I need to have some little
back to trigger warning
thing. Yeah, sort of like download the
disclaimer.
Sample. Yeah, download the sample so you can see like what is inside the book.
Yeah,
but which is sad, because I mean,
it is
I don't
sad.
feel like it's a trigger.
I don't either, but
it's an age gap. I mean, I don't feel like that's a trigger. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know what everybody's triggers are. It could be what I don't find a trigger could be somebody else.
Well, that happens to us a lot, though.
It does, because we're not used to writing triggers, and I feel like this is a new like wave in the last like 5 years. Is a new wave of like doing these triggers, and it's just.
And then you can write trigger
like
warnings.
They're used as like selling points, and then I feel like they're becoming more selling points than they are like actual trigger warnings.
Well, but then the other thing is, you can have trigger warnings and they get triggered by something that you didn't even expect to be a trigger warning. So it's just like,
you don't know right. All of these things. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, we always get into this topic and these trigger warnings because there's no right answer, but
that's why I said we're back to trigger warnings.
I know, there's just no right answer. It's,
yeah,
I don't know, because you want it to be you don't want to trigger anyone. You never want to do that. You don't want
Right.
somebody to have, like, that's never a goal. But you just don't know how you're always going to be able to protect everybody, you know?
And I mean, you're not going to.
And so it's like you just, I mean, you have to make sure the description is clear, I guess.
Yeah. And that's always hard too, because you don't want to give too much away in a description.
You don't. I mean,
it's all a balancing act. It's so hard to be an author.
Well, and like trigger warnings, because I sent you a while ago this author's like thing where there was like 3 pages of trigger warnings. I'm like,
it was more of a, I was like, I kind of want to read it because look at all the stuff that's in it.
Well, it is a selling point, but it's like, seriously, this is what we have to do now? Like, it's just like, what? It's just crazy to me that they're in. I mean, is there anything in this book that is not a trigger? Because it's just like all of these pages, because they're just like listed down the line, and oh my God.
Well, and it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like that one show that I was watching. I'm like, this is just too real life. It's not that it triggers me. It's just, it's not something I want to watch because it was just too real, you know? And so
I got addicted to that show.
I know you did, but it was too much to me. It's like, I identify too much with this character. I can't watch it, you know? And so, and again, that's not a show that needed a trigger warning, but it was just not something I could watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So.
It was just, oh, yeah.
I don't remember the name of that show.
Kevin Cook himself.
Yeah.
And it was something I never thought I would like. It's just not, and I don't even know why I watched it, but I really liked the show.
It was just too real for me.
I really liked it. I think it ended on a good place, though. It needed to.
I wouldn't know.
I know. Well, I was like, when I saw it was only 2 seasons, I was like, oh, getting addicted to a show, it's gonna end, but it ended in a good place, so it was good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this was a long one. Longer than I thought it was going to be.
I know. Our ones where we don't have like a big like lineup always end up being longer because we.
But I mean, it's just more us, more real. I think. So.
Yeah,
this was good.
It was good. It was.
You want to talk about Ellie? Oh, we should also mention that I use Ellie. I love her. I think she's great. Yeah. Logan uses Ellie.
Yes. I plan to use Ellie. I haven't yet though, but I do plan to.
She's definitely made my books better.
Yeah, and I've seen work that she's done with other people, and I've really like saw like she's really made a difference. So yeah, she is somebody I definitely want to use in the future. You can find elliedesyre, her editing and all of the things that she does on her website at elliedesyre.com, and desire is spelled DESYRE. Again, we will have the link here, and it'll also be in the comments on YouTube for you to find her.
And don't forget to subscribe and follow us online, and you can find us on social media under Crush Pub or Crush Publications, and our next episode will be out in 2 weeks. Thanks.
Peace, love, and crush on y'all.
Thank you for joining us today on Crushcast.
Be sure to follow us so you can catch our next episode in 2 weeks.
Thanks to our sponsor this week and to all of you for listening.
Peace, love, and crush on.